Alright, so this is the steering wheel control unit that came in that blue box from RadioPRO, and that plugs in down here, and we found these things in the diagram. This is from Pioneer to show us where things plugged in, and then we have all these wires that we have to attach to these wires, and I hope that we just match the colors. Then up here, this came with the directions from RadioPRO, which told us about this little switch here to turn. So, and since we're Panasonic, or no, we're Pioneer, there we go. And the little wheel to turn is in here, so we have to turn it to 7. So we've turned it to 7. So that's there, and this is all part of that harness. This here is the subwoofer, and found that by looking at the radios diagram here to tell us where that was. And then this one plugs in there. It's another part of the harness thing. So now I have this extra wire because I don't have the I don't know what part that was. I don't have it. So I have electrical tape, which is something not mentioned on the list, but whenever you're working with electrical things, electrical tape is always handy to have. And then I have a pair of scissors to cut the electrical tape, because it never tears very well. I just don't ever like leaving a bare wire back in anywhere. That can be problematic. So, hey, it matches the little wire. So I'm just going to wrap them all up, some tape so he can't get into trouble. So we got that all plugged in. Now the next part is playing color match here, I guess, because I have no idea what these are. They're not in any of the diagrams. And I'm just going to try and match them to these. And then I've got to figure out how I use these little connectors. Hopefully not too complicated. Strip 3/8 to a 1/2 inch, twist, insert, and tighten. So hey, I think even I can do that. So that's my next project. Get back with you when I have those matched. Okay, here we are. This is kind of a demonstration of these little wire dealy-doos, and I just have a scrap piece of wire, so I'm going to demonstrate how these things do. I twist them together, I stick them through this hole. Okay. Then the next part is, here's the other end of this cap, and I screw this cap on there. Then I have a nice tight connection for the two wires coming together. And then we go to this wiring harness, and every one of these wires had to be stripped back about 1/2 an inch and matched to the wires from this harness. And each one of these babies has one of these things on it that holds the two wires together, and we wrapped them all in tape here so they're not all over the place. They kind of made it a little bit neater of a arrangement with this wiring harness. Okay, this probably was the longest part of the whole process so far. So I think that I would definitely add electrical tape to the needed tools and wire crimpers or something that you're going to use to wire strippers to strip the ends off these wires so that you can put them in this thing, because you just got to do that. Okay, now we're going to put the harness to the radio. Okay, now this part here is for the steering wheel controls, and I don't need this extra wire, but it plugs in down here, and I found that out by looking in the manual for the radio. Okay, this guy is the major component of this wiring harness thing, and he's going to go visit the back here, and I got the connector up, and he should plug right in there. There we go. And then I don't have an entertainment center in the back, and I don't have whatever else, so I don't need those. Okay, so this is for the subwoofer. We're plugging it in. And then this is going to go into the car. I think we pretty well got it wrapped up here. Hold the receiver assembly near the dash. Connect the receiver wiring interface to the vehicle harness. Using the antenna adapter, plug the antenna lead into the rear of the receiver. Slide the assembly into the dash, secure with screws previously removed. We're all plugged in everywhere, and all the extra wires are down through the hole. So, getting up to here. Now these holes are pretty easy to figure out. Okay, it's nice and snug. Alright, the moment of truth. Okay. Well, setup. So that's kind of cool.
And try to change the choices that you make, 'cause they're the choices that made me. And even though I love this crazy life, sometimes I wish it was a smoother ride. Take the train, 'cause every way.
Alright.
I'm turning it down.
Pretty loud.
Yeah, it's nice and clear now.
Okay.
And I'm turning it down with the steering wheel thing. That's very cool. It works great.